Welcome to the channel. So we're going to continue flying freight in the FlightFactor 777 freighter, and we're going to be going from Los Angeles over to Cincinnati. Just planned this in Navigraph charts, and therefore I'm just going to type the flight in manually, but this is a great example as to why you might want to change part of the flight. I've chosen the alternate as Chicago O'Hare. If you click top right here, where it says type or edit route, you'll see it puts it into a nicer format. It's in the format of airway, waypoint, etc. So on the left hand side of the screen, you can see how we type that into the route page. So I've entered this manually, but the main thing to show you is this. Have a look here. So we go from STL via another airway, Juliet 8, takes us to Boise and then down to Derby. That's quite a sharp right turn and would still be at our cruising altitude then, and that's for a total distance of 15 nautical miles. So just ask yourself, do you really want to do that? So I know that our stars will begin at Derby, or there's a Derby transition, so that means I'm going to be happier by deleting Boise and just going from there to there. So how do we do that? So instead of that airway connecting up to Boise, I'm just going to take that out because all we're going to do is go direct to Derby. When you hit enter, you can just see the change that it's made. So what I will do is just edit the flight plan as well, just so that we've got the star in there. I don't need to type direct because when it looks at that, it knows that that's a star which connects to Derby. In a similar way that we've got Gardy 4 going up to Beale. So it's quite a long SID that goes up to Las Vegas. Let's look at the wind data. So from takeoff to top of climb, I'm not going to enter anything. It's less than 50 knots, so I won't bother it with any information there until we get to DVC, which is where I'm going to enter 340 at 60. By oath, it's increased up to 350 at 110. SLN, I'd still say we can let it keep the same values even from SLN, and really tell it by welts that the wind's reduced down to 359 at 60. Now this is mainly a crosswind, as you can see, so you might be thinking, well, why does that even impact us? Well, just think about if you're gonna take a small boat across a stream and the stream's coming from your left to right, what's going to happen if you just go in a straight line? Exactly, you're going to find yourself carried off in the direction of the stream. So what you're going to have to do is steer the boat slightly into the direction of the stream itself. So it's the same principle here. Let's just make sure that we enter our star as well. The reason for this is I'm going to use this prediction over here in a moment to decide how much fuel to load. So the star itself, if you remember that last waypoint, Derby, it's probably about 200 miles from there. So we'll select the star. Notice that the distance has increased only slightly. I'll probably therefore put in a runway as well. So let's say that we're going to go land on 18 right. So the current time is 12:55 Zulu. So difference between that and that's giving us a forecasted flight time of 3 hours and 42 minutes. So I now need to decide on the fuel load itself. So landing with 2.6 is clearly not acceptable. So far I've just entered the value in there. That's not what I've got on board. So we just need to play with this fuel figure until this increases to around about 9. I'm going to be happy to take 38 tons of fuel, and I've amended my reserve figure to 8.5. So let's just break that down a bit. Let's say of that reserves, 5 is the absolute final reserve. 3.5 of that is to get to our alternate. So there's our 8.5. Predicted 10 on arrival, so we've still got a credit of 1.5 tons. That's my en route contingency fuel. So I'm more than happy with that. Shall we see how it plays out?
300. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums. 100. 50. 40, 30, 20, 10.
did you think of the landing? Hope you liked it and the small part of the flight that we showed you. Let's remind ourselves of the forecast then. So we were looking at landing with fuel anywhere between 8.5 up to 10 tonnes. As you can see, we landed with 9.2 tonnes. One thing I didn't factor in was the actual taxi fuel. So as you can see here, we used just over 500 kilos of that, and that was including the APU fuel as well. Basically this is red anytime from when the APU started until we start the takeoff roll. So trip fuel itself 28.2 tonnes, giving us a total burn there of 28.7 tonnes. So we had more than enough if we had to divert up to Chicago O'Hare. Just a quick review then of the winds that we entered, and I cruised at 330 all the way just so that we could monitor the observed winds against what we were expecting. You can see in terms of the speed in the orange, it peaked just near where we were expecting. 118 was red here. I put in a maximum of 110. In terms of the direction, maybe 30 degrees off there, so it did kind of go up towards 350, 355 towards the end of the flight. That's it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed that, and gonna go back when we do the freighter next time. We'll go from SimBrief, we'll do a flight in SimBrief, make any adjustments, because there's some really cool features on the FB that we've not actually looked at yet, and they're applicable to the 200ER and the freighter as well. So do like, subscribe, come back for a future video, and I'll see you all soon. Do take care, bye bye.